The Good and the Beautiful had their early bird sale for next year in March, and I took advantage of this sale because most of the curriculum we use is the Good and the Beautiful. My son is in first grade going into second grade. I also have a 4-year-old, and then I have a 15-month-old. So I kind of do homeschool with all of them, but I mean, my main focus curriculum-wise is my first grader who's going into second grade. So I wanted to show you everything that I've got. First, I'm going to start with English. I have like all my files here, so I'm going to show you and hopefully stay on track. So I did the Language Arts Literature Level 2 course book. We're almost done with the Level 1, and so far I'm really liking it. I like that they incorporate not just like grammar and stuff like that, but it's also incorporating art and geography. But I kind of like that it makes it more rounded in that way. But I got the Level 2, and this one is spiral bound, just like the first one. It's so beautiful, just like all their stuff is. Excuse me, sorry, I'm getting over like a cold, so in the snifflies. I also got, so along with the course book, I got the Reading Booster C cards, and then I got the books that go with it, Molly and the Falcon, and then Wesley and the Wolves. And I was curious about these, but I really love the way they're set up. I believe the booster cards tells you when to read. Does it? Yes, so it tells you when to read these in the booster card so that it kind of stays in line and they stay, it doesn't jump ahead of where they're at. But what I love is that it has a student section for them reading, and it's a little bit more spaced out, and it has stuff underlined, I'm assuming that they'll be working on for them to be able to read. And then the bottom section is for the parent, and it's more normally like how a book is, but I really love that it's like that. And then there are still pictures, but it's kind of getting them more used to a typical chapter book. But I am really excited about these because my son loves to read, and I do too. And then of course I got my third nature reader. It just has like has more stories and beautiful illustrations that go along with different stuff that you are learning. Like this one, for example, really focuses on sight words group 1 within the booster cards. And then like this one focuses on EY. So we really love the second nurture reader. We never got the kindergarten one, so we don't have the first one, but we have the second one and now the third one. And I also got this set of mystery books, which is actually they're 1B, so he can read them now. He's already read 2 or 3 of them, and he seems to really like them. I've caught him looking through them several times. The illustration is beautiful. The stories aren't too long. I mean, there's lots of pages, but so he feels like he's reading a ton, but it's not too overwhelming on the page. But I really love those. There's Mittens is Missing, Mystery of the Kid Next Door, Mystery of the Missing Peas, and Mystery of the Silver Ring. And then I also got a Treehouse Town. It's a Parts of Speech game. And then I got the set of books that goes with it. It's 2 books. Let's see. So pretty, the pictures. But the game is, let me see if I can get it open. We'll say with the game, I wish that they put like a little notch or something so you could open it more easily, because I struggle to get my fingers in here to be able to get the box apart. But it comes with these cards, these little, can't think of the name, little houses, and then it has a spinner. And then let's see, it's a 2-player game. The first player, I put a rubber band around it to try and help keep it. The first player spins the spinner, then checks to see if one of the cards matches part of the speech indicated on the spinner. If one of his or her cards matches, the player claims the matching color house, discards the card. And the cards look like this. They have different things on them. Oops. So like that. And we love games in our house, and my son especially loves them. So I just thought this would be a fun way for him to learn without even realizing too much or focusing too much on the fact that it's still school. So I really love play-based learning, and so this just kind of goes along with that. So that kind of covers everything that I got for English and literature. For my toddler, I didn't get him hardly anything, but I did get him these little books. They came together. It's a Beatles flip book and a Butterflies flip book. And when it came, all of the pages were like together with a dotted line, so we had to manually cut them ourselves, but it has the line for you to cut to follow along. But then he can just, and he's already been doing this some, and he seems to enjoy it. So it shows there's a page where it shows all the different Beatles, and it's the same for the Butterfly book. And then we can talk about the different Beatles, but then I can say, oh, can you make me one of these? And then he can try and put the Beatle together or match them up. So he really likes those, and then the Butterfly one looks pretty. So that's really all I got for him other than science, which is what I'll do next. So science, we do kind of all of us together. I don't make him sit down and really crazy participate. He kind of comes and goes as he pleases because I don't want to force it on him, but they both really love science, so it's not too hard to get him to come sit down with us and do it. But if he gets up and leaves, it's not that big of a deal. But I had both of them in mind whenever I got science curriculum as well, because it's for Science for Little Hands. I forget what grade. I'll put on the screen what grade it's for, but it covers both of their age brackets right now. So, but and because they love science so much, I ended up getting 2 science curriculums for the Science for Little Hearts and Little Hands. We already had Sparks and Stars, which they love, so I got Wind and Waves. It comes with the parent book. So beautiful, all of their stuff. I know I say that over and over, but I just really love all the illustrations and the colors. And then you get the big book of science stories, which I always love that they include these with their science, because while we read them with our lessons, sometimes we go back and read them just for story time because they like them. And then I also got Bones and Stones, and so this is the parent guide, and they really love this one. Let's see, and then this is the story, big book of stories. They love all of them so far, but this is probably their favorite one, the one they keep asking for. Originally, I was going to finish the Sparks and Stars, and then I was going to move on to one of these. And I told them all the ones that were left, and I let them pick their most favorite and then their second favorite. So I think we only need one more of these to kind of complete all the ones that they currently have out. I think it's the Fields and Flowers. But originally I thought we'll finish one, then move on to the next one. But then they kept asking to do a different one, and I got to thinking, we don't have to do it, we don't have to do one and complete it before we move on to the next one, because while the lessons do build off of each other, you don't need one to move on to the next one. So I kind of ask them every day, what would you like to do today? You want to learn about Stones and Bones with the dinosaurs, or do you want to learn about Wind and Waves, or do you want to learn about Sparks and Stars and space and all of that? And so normally they will tell me which ones they like, and this one lately seems to be the one they're going to most frequently. They pick them all, but this is most frequent. But I really love their Science for Little Hearts and Hands. And then for my second grader, or soon to be second grader, I just got this little activity book just to it says health in the physical body, just to slowly introduce him so things kind of start looking familiar as far as the the heart and like inside of our body and stuff like that, and just to kind of open up discussion for he and I to have, but also just give him a fun little activity to do with it. But I'm not gonna do this like super serious, for lack of better words. I remember from school that I found this like really overwhelming whenever I started learning it, like when I was older. So I just thought if I go ahead and slowly introduce it to him now, maybe it won't seem so overwhelming in the future. I don't know. It's just something I thought I'd try. All right, so let's move on to math. I got Math 2, the math box, and the book. The Math 1 is spiral bound and this one is not, so I'm very curious if I'm going to prefer this. It's kind of like a flat lay, and it does have the perforated, is that the right word? Like the little notches so that you can pull the pages out if you'd like. The spiral bound, I just always just like left it on the next lesson because it would kind of get like caught up. I do the same thing with the English. So I'm wondering if I'm going to like this better or not, but we'll see. We actually just finished Math 1. He loves math, so we moved pretty quickly in math, and he's super excited that this one, he kept asking if they're going to introduce multiplication because for some reason he's really excited to learn that. But it's very beautiful. Again, me and the beautiful. I guess that's why it's the good and the beautiful. And then the box. The first one was wooden and this one is not, but it does have like a little magnetic thing to keep it closed. But it has the clock in here. It has different dice. And it has little, it's like spaceship and planes and helicopters. And it has little plastic pieces so you can make them characters to like stand up, I'm assuming, for the different games. Then we have these cards. There's numbers and stars on the other side of them. So I'm curious what that's for. And then they have money. They introduced paper money into this lesson. Before it was just, in the Math 1, it was just coins. So now they've added paper money. And then they have the coins again. But these are like a cardboard. They were plastic in the Math 1 box, but that's those. And another thing I love about this curriculum is that I can just pick up and go. It really helps me out that I'm not having to sit down and like crazy plan. I do like to try and look over it if I can, but if I don't, it's not that big of a deal because normally the supplies, if it does ask for anything extra, are just things we have around the house. And then my son loves to draw, so this is the last thing I got, but I got him some drawing books. I got level 1 draw vintage images. It's easy step-by-step instructions, so it's just a bunch of random different stuff that it shows you the steps how to draw. And then I also got drawing 100 fun and easy birds. So there are all different birds in here. And then I got drawing 100 fun and easy trees, which I really loved how unique a lot of these trees were. They're super simple, but still super unique. And then the first day this came in, he wanted to take both books, and then first he drew a tree, and then he picked a bird to draw in the tree, which I thought was super cute. But yeah, so that's everything that I got from the Good and the Beautiful for next year. And we actually do school year round. So when I say next year, like, I've kind of let him take a little break now that he just finished his Math 1 for like a week or two, but now we will slowly start doing school again. So that just seems to work better for us. That's everything that I got from the Good and the Beautiful, and that's the bulk of what we'll do. I'll use a few other resources, but this is like our main schooling right now. We really love the Good and the Beautiful. I'm not sure if it will be a good fit for when my 4-year-old gets older, but we'll see. But for my oldest, it's definitely a good fit for both him and me. We both really like it. If there's any other types of homeschooling videos you'd like to see, please let me know in the comments. Bye.